Can tell this is a different day. You can see the clouds are out and stuff. I had some technical difficulties yesterday and wasn't able to finish my video, so this is me finishing it. Yesterday I started discussing this concept of if you don't like it, move, and why it bugs me. I covered that it was kind of a false statement, but that's not why it bugs me so much. Essentially what the argument, if you don't like it, move, says, stop trying, well, what it says is, stop trying to improve on our situation, just accept it the way it is, and move on. This is a cop-out. This is a horrible, horrible statement to make, because what you're saying is, I'm happy with the way things are. I'm happy with police beating innocent people. I'm happy with endless wars. I'm happy with everything the way it is. And you shouldn't be. You should be encouraging people to change things, and to change the way they live, and to change the way the world works. The whole point of being a human, the whole point of being alive, is to better our situation and to better the situation of our children. And if you're so happy with the way things are, you've stopped trying to evolve the situation. You stop trying to evolve the species, and that's not okay. You owe it to your children and your grandchildren and your nephews and nieces and their children to better the world. And so by telling those of us who don't like taxes, who don't like the government, who don't like being told what to do, what to say, where to go, when to go, how to go, you're essentially saying, I don't want things to get better for my kids. I don't want things to get better for your kids. And how selfish is that? That's not even selfish to the point of self-interest. That's just selfish to the point of laziness. Saying, I don't want to work on it. And to be terribly honest, if you don't want to work on it, there's places you can go that don't work on it. But to say that in this day and age, in this particular geographical region, that's just disrespectful to everyone who came before you. And it's disrespectful to your ancestors and to my ancestors, and I want nothing to do with you. I don't want to associate with you. I mean, to paraphrase, you move. But again, don't accept things the way they are. And tell people who want to accept things the way they are that they are doing themselves a disservice. They're doing their children a disservice. And, for a long time, people living in the United States have had this myth that, well, we're free. And if you can honestly look at the world and think you're free today, then you've got some growing up to do. You're not free. None of us are. I mean, technically, I'm recording this in public. I'm recording this on a public street, and I'm sure somewhere there's a rule or a law that says I need to get a permit to do this. And if I don't get a permit, they can fine me. And if I don't pay my fine, they can jail me. And that's not freedom. That's oppression. And yeah, it's not as bad as what the Russians had under Stalin, or even what they may have under Putin. I mean, we've all heard about Pussy Riot and them getting locked up, and, you know, it's terrible. But it's still not good. And I don't understand how that's a difficult concept to master, that something can be less bad than something else, but less bad is not good enough. Yeah, I mean, that's the way I feel about this, and if you don't like it, then don't watch my videos. That's fine. It's not going to hurt my feelings. It's not like YouTube is paying me for them. I did have one news item that has been popping up a little bit in recent days. It's about Syria, obviously. Everything seems to be about Syria. Apparently, a lot of Christian churches have come under fire in Syria. Christian villages and churches are being burned, and people are being run out or killed. And this is terrible. But I think I have a hypothesis about why this is happening. And see, the rebels know that the United States is a, quote, Christian nation. And whether that's true or not, even if you ask most honest Christians, they'll say most people just claim to be Christian because all their friends claim to be Christian. Or that the people that say they're Christian are really just Sunday Christians and not real Christians. My hypothesis is that they're attacking the Christians to goad the Christian majority into a war fervor. And if they're successful, if they get the Christians and the preachers to stand up and say, we have to protect our own, we have to protect the Christians in Syria, then they've essentially defeated your own doctrine. You know, I grew up Christian. I'm not a Christian anymore, but I grew up Christian, and nowhere in the New Testament, nowhere in Jesus' teachings does he say, if you see Christians getting attacked, go invade the country that's attacking them. In fact, he talks about how you as a Christian will be persecuted, and how you're supposed to turn the other cheek. Even in the Old Testament, it says in Proverbs that being nice to your enemy will be like heaping hot coals on his head. So, to all you Christians out there who are getting worked up and bent out of shape about these Christian churches getting attacked, remember that your entire book teaches that you're supposed to be nice to people who persecute you. You're supposed to turn the other cheek and not seek vengeance. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, and all that stuff. If you're right, all those people who are dying are in heaven. And all of their murderers will definitely not be. So, stick true to your own theology. Don't attack people half a world away just because, well, they don't like what you believe. I did have a good piece of news that I saw recently. Apparently, I believe it was in Texas, a kidnapping was thwarted by a group of boys who followed the kidnappers and saved a little girl. One of them, I guess, followed on his bike for 15 minutes. And this is amazing. I mean, this is anarchy at work. It's people working together to solve social problems. And you should definitely, look at that as an example as to what anarchy is. It's people working to better their situations and to better the situations of those around them. It's not chaos, it's not violence, it's people living and being themselves and working. So, I mean, kudos to those boys who thwarted that kidnapping. That's awesome. I didn't really have anything else. I think at this point, if I combine the videos, I'm at like 15 minutes or something. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording and get to work on editing these together. And so those are my opinions. Take them or leave them. And have a good one.